Hi there, in this lesson we're going to learn how to convert between systems. First thing you need to know before we can start converting is you need to know how this chart works. So this chart will be given to you during a test or a quiz or, during all of our classwork. But you need to know how to work with the chart. So let's go over it. These are the kinds of units that we would have for length. On this side, the left side, we have all the customary units. These are the units that we use here in the United States. On the right side, we have all the metric units. These are the units that they use all around the world, other than the United States. So for length, we're talking about inches, feet, yards, miles, meters, kilometers. So all this whole first row is your length. In your second row is your weight. And then in your third row, or weight and mass, and then your third row is capacity, or what you would use for volume. So like your liquids and whatnot. All right, here is our first conversion problem. We have 6 yards is equal to how many meters? First thing I want you to do is you're going to take whatever number and units are in your problem, and you're going to put it over 1. See how I have 6 yards over 1. The next thing I'm going to want you to do is to set up your multiplication problem. So 6 yards over 1 times, just draw a line out for your ratio here. We didn't fill in the blank yet, but we will. Okay, so you have 6 yards over 1 times some other fraction. The next thing I want you to do is to look here at the top left. You have yards here. So I'm going to ask that you put whatever's in the top left, whatever units you have in the top left, here down onto your bottom right. So if you have yards up here, you're going to have yards down here. And then we want to put whatever we're trying to find on the top right here, so meters. Okay, so yards to yards, diagonal from each other. The meters, which is what we're looking for, diagonal from the 1. Now I'm going to ask that you go back to your chart and try to fill in the ratio using, you're going to fill in the ratio using the chart. So we're looking for meters and yards. Okay, well, 1 yard here is equal to 0.9 meters. So I'm going to go back to my problem. I'm going to put the 1 here, right? Because that's 1 yard is equal to 0.91 meters. So I'm going to put 0.91 here where the meters is. So my multiplication problem looks like this so far. 6 yards over 1 times 0.9 meters over 1 yard. Notice I put the 0.91 right here at the top where the meters are, not the bottom. All right, and then it says solve the problem now. So now we can actually go across and solve like we normally would solve when we multiply fractions. So just go across. 6 times 0.9 over 1 times 1, which is 1. So in your calculator, you can do 6 times 0.9, and you'll end up getting about 5.46 meters. So 6 yards is about 5.46 meters. Let's take a look at a next example. We have 1.6 centimeters is equal to how many inches? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1.6 centimeters and put it over 1. I actually have steps written out, so if you want to refer to them, you can. I'd recommend maybe pausing the video so that you could read, so that maybe you can take notes on this slide if you'd like. So the first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put whatever the problem is given to me, and I'm going to put it over 1. Right, so always put the measurement that your problem gives you over 1. Step 2, whatever units are on the top left, the same units need to be put in the bottom right. So I set up my problem, 1.6 centimeters over 1 times, and then we have some unknown ratio here. We don't know what it is yet. But I'm going to set up my units now. Top left, I have centimeters. My bottom right needs to have centimeters. and then the top is going to be filled with whatever I'm trying to find. So I have 1.6 centimeters over 1 times some unknown ratio yet that I don't know. So then I'm going to fill in my ratio using the conversion chart. So I'm going to go back to the chart. I believe my ratio that I'm looking for is inches to centimeters. So 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So I'm going to put 2.54 here because that's where the centimeters are. And I'm going to put 1 inch up here because that's where the inches are. Okay, so I have 1.6 times 1, and then 2.54. Okay, so this ratio times this ratio. And now I can solve the problem. Just go across and solve it like you normally would solve when you multiply fractions. 1.6 times 1 is 1.6. 1 times 2.54 is just 2.54. And then once we go across, or we already went across, right? 1.6 times 1 is 1.6 over 2.54. Then you're just going to divide the two numbers. 1.6 divided by 2.54, and you end up getting 0.63 inches. Okay, so in other words, this problem, 1.6 centimeters, is equal to 0.63 inches. Okay, and here is our last problem. Convert 828.5 milliliters to cups. Round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So, if I refer back to my steps, always put the measurement that your problem gives you over 1. So that's what I'm going to do. 828.5 milliliters is given to me. So I'm going to put that over 1. I'm going to refer back to my steps. Whatever units are in the top left, the same units need to be in the bottom right. So if I have milliliters here, I'm going to have milliliters down here. And I'm trying to find cups. So I'm trying to find the cups. So I have the cups up here at the top right. And then I'm going to fill in my ratio using the conversion chart. So if I have, if I'm looking for milliliters to cups, I'm going to go back to my conversion chart. And then I'm going to find milliliters and cups. So here's 1 cup is equal to 236.59 milliliters. So I'm going to put a 1 here because it's 1 cup is equal to 236.59 milliliters. So I'm just going to fill in my ratio. And then I'm just going to solve by multiplying across and then dividing. So then I'm just going to solve 828.5 times 1 over 1 times 236.59. And then once I just multiply, I get same thing, 828.5 over 236.59. And now I have to divide these two numbers. This fraction bar, remember, is the same thing as the division bar. And I end up getting 3.5 cups. All right, so just concluding thoughts, I'm just going to refer back to the steps again. Always put the measurement that your problem gives you over 1. Whatever units are on the top left, the same units need to be put in the bottom right. Fill in your ratio using the conversion chart, and then solve by multiplying across and then dividing. All right, so I hope you learned how to convert between systems.